Well, everyone who supports the LGBT community, and especially the transgender community. I don't have any family here, so I've been adopted by a family, which is really nice. The hardest part of my life was before I transitioned, and especially growing up, being very uncomfortable being myself, trying very hard to be a boy and a man and not really feeling like I fit in. I didn't have a lot of friends. Once I grew up, most of my friends were women. I didn't have men friends because, like I said, I just didn't fit in. And I struggled a lot. My father was also bipolar, and he committed suicide when I was 14. Really plunged me into a big depression, and I started drinking and taking drugs, and I was an active alcoholic and drug user for 20 years, and I didn't get clean and sober until I was 33. It was a very difficult period. I dropped out of high school, but then I went to college. Graduated from college. I had a really good time in college. I was studying theater. Of course, everybody fits in theater department. That's where I first met openly gay people. But once I left college, I was working and back out in the straight world, and again, I felt like I didn't fit in. Well, after I got clean and sober, my NA sponsor introduced me to a woman, and we ended up getting married. I had had a son from a previous relationship, and she had a daughter who became my stepdaughter. My son didn't live with me, but the rest of us moved from California to New Mexico because my wife's parents had retired there, and spent 17 years in New Mexico. Went back to school, to graduate school, and became a teacher, public school teacher. And I did that for a while, but public school teachers in New Mexico make almost no money. And after I got my master's degree, I jumped ship and went over to Intel so I could support my family. And that's how I got to Oregon. And during that period I was living in New Mexico, my stepdaughter died, which was really and that, I think that really contributed to the breakup of my marriage, because it's still hard. Visit her was because I wanted to talk to her. She was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and that's when she died. And we never ended up talking about it, that's one of the big regrets of my life, is that she never knew. She was the most wonderful person. She was gay, very genderqueer. It was meeting some of her friends who were trans or who started transitioning that really put the idea in my mind that I might be able to transition someday.